Everybody's Father Fish with Jack and Dan on YouTube.
Hey everybody, it's Jack and Dan.
And today we're doing an update on the big tank.
The big one.
Now last time you saw this here had that bamboo coming out the top, but this young lady, where'd she go? Right here. She, because of the whole COVID situation, we were not able to give her the humongous zucchini she's used to eating all the time. So she ate through that bamboo that was here. We did try to rescue it over there and plant it, but it didn't really live, so that kind of stinks, right?
Yeah.
But it's okay, it happens. We ended up getting her some zucchini and everything. So what we did is we took those out and we just opened that whole top up above Ice Digi's Aqua-Cave so that, you know, it would just leave more room. I did put a little bit more glass on top and some bricks to weigh it down. What I did is I ordered some new big panes of glass like this so that I can just have a few of those and have it look more even without all this rigmarole on top. But you don't want that to float because then, you know, that could get ugly because it'll move around the tank. But it does take a lot of weight to hold that down. Each one of these panes is, I don't know, I would say around 10 pounds. So it takes 50, 60 pounds to hold it down because of that little bit of air, believe it or not. So for the most part, that's the only thing that majorly changed inside the tank. The bamboo's doing really good. We got the bromelate up there now. And we did give Ice Digi a new UV. This light in the back that you see against the wall here, of the 6 light figures, that one is UV. So that when she's hanging out and eating up here, she gets UV light. Okay? And of course we take her out, don't we? Especially in the summertime, we take her outside. And, you know, we let her run around the house and stuff too, like a lot of people do with their turtles. But she
eats the grass sometimes.
She eats the grass.
Sometimes sometimes she'll hide in the grass or what.
It's kind of funny, yeah. It's funny. And, but she likes her tank. She is a water turtle and she likes being in the water, but when she gets tired of the water, she can go in her Aqua-Cave. And if you haven't seen our Aqua-Cave design, it's really neat. It's very unique. It's something that I messed with a long time ago. I'm going to turn this light off so the reflection's gone. This is an Aqua-Cave. This is an upside-down tank. We drilled some holes in it, and we put a raft in there. Now, this raft usually, if she wants to get on it, she'll just kind of go over here, stick her head up. She'll just push it over. It just slides over to the other side. And she is a big 3-year-old red-eared slider. And Jack raised her from a baby in one of the little tanks in his room that he used to have. Of course, those have changed. We changed things around a lot. And then she's been in here for quite some time. We used to have a big penthouse aquarium that would come up. We had a big 20 tall that came up as a vacuum all the way to the ceiling. And we got kind of tired of that. So we took that 20, we put it in Jack's tank and attached bridge to it, you know. So now you've got 3 tanks in there. And we took that out and just got rid of it. We just changed it around. We might put another vacuum back in here. We'll see. But yeah, so how this works is this little area gets air all the time, pumped in, and then this gets replenished with fresh air, and then there's a hole in here, and you'll see the air kind of burp out of there once in a while, just like it just did. And that aerates the tank and also gives her constant oxygen. So sometimes in the middle of the afternoon, she'll want to take a nap, she'll go up in her cave, she'll hang out, and a lot of people are very concerned. They feel that she cannot really bask in there. She does dry out. You can see her shell is very healthy. Again, she's 3 years old and very, very healthy shell, very healthy bones, very healthy appetite. She's pretty good size for only 3 years old. Even being a female, they do get rather large, but she's nice and good and big and healthy, especially the red-eared sliders. So she goes in there. She sits on top of this little foam bridge. She dries out because of that constant movement of air. Now, she does not get UV in there, but she gets it when she's out here. And a lot of people think that a turtle has to be completely out of the water to absorb UV. They do not, actually, as long as they're around here. And she does hang out around up here a lot, too, on top. And again, this will be a little bit neater when I just get those panes done. It'll just be a little more flush and everything. But when I took those vases off the top, I want to make sure, you know, that it didn't float or move around. So that's the big 220 Aqua-Cave tank, and we're going to go into detail here about all the dudes in here. It's been a while since we've done that. All right, so we're going to start off, of course, with Ice Digi. Jack raised quite a few baby turtles in his room. but she was a little bit of a bully, right, kiddo?
She was.
She didn't get along so much with the other turtles, and I think that they ended up being males primarily is what happened there, and she was just like, get out of my tank, I ain't having you. So we ended up giving those guys away to other people.
We didn't know that, though, at the time. We didn't know she was a female.
Right, because they were so little.
Yeah.
They were so little, couldn't tell. But then we found out. So we gave her the whole tank to herself, and when she moved over to this tank after she was about a year old, we had another big tank that we got rid of and got this tank. And these guys, these parrotfish, we bought as little babies because Jack really liked them. And what are parrotfish made from? They're a hybrid of two other ones, right?
Midas and
Redhead.
Redhead.
Cichlids, yeah. So redhead and a Midas, and if you've never seen parrots, now these are quite large. This guy's a little bit of the runt of the pack here, a little bit smaller. And if you don't know a lot about parrots, there are male and female. They are normally the male are sterile. We think, for the most part, that these are all males, from what we can see. We think that they are. Usually you can tell by the sharp dorsal. This one is the only one that we haven't questioned, is this small one. This small one. Yeah, we're not sure though. But they are quite large. They're about 3.5 years old, and they are really good buddies, and they're really cool with Digi, and they get along with everybody else. And we just love them. They're very personable. They come up to the front all the time. Now we did have 5, and one of them died. One time we were gone on vacation. We don't know what happened. We came back, and that's it. We don't know what happened. So we took them out and did a water change, and everybody else seemed perfectly fine, and there was nothing symptomatic of anything. And that happens sometimes when you go on vacation. You never know what goes on. But anyway, that was about a year ago. So these 4 have been here ever since, doing very, very well, still getting bigger. Just such awesome fish. Just such awesome fish. And then, of course, we have the big family of clown loaches, right, buddy?
Yeah.
So these clown loaches, I had some in this tank, and this is the oldest one. I had a very, very large family of clown loaches. And they got ick really, really bad. I couldn't kick it, and many of them died. This one survived. And I added some more of these guys, and then you had some of these small ones in your tank, and they got bigger. We put them in here, all except for this little guy, this little runt here. There's always a little runt, a little squirt in the group, and very, very healthy, active little guy. Kind of almost runs the pack. They all seem to follow his lead, but you can see he's quite quick. He goes around and cleans Digi and everything, and cleans just everything. Really, really cool. Really cool guy. But anyway, hopefully he'll grow. For the most part, they're doing really good. They are a massive attraction to this tank. Anyone who comes and sees this tank just loves these clowns. And they just clean everything and get along and school around. And I don't even know how many there are in here, but there's a lot. There's a lot. I never really bothered counting them. And this is my absolute favorite, sailfin, believe a male. Bought him as a very small little one, and has gotten quite huge. Beautiful, beautiful markings on him. And then we were at Ohio Fish Rescue quite some time ago. Someone had this, and we believe it's a female sailfin, quite large. So this is a male, we believe, and this is a female, and they are getting really big, and we're hoping to possibly feed them or breed them. Now, this is a little albino one over here, only about a year old. And remember, this one was in your tanks, right?
Yeah.
It was a little baby we put in your tanks, but started to get pretty big. And so put him in here. Been in here for a few months, doing very well. Not sure if it's a male or female yet, but between the 3 of these sailfins, we're hoping that we can get some eggs or some babies. So we'll see what happens there. The nice part about having lava rock as a medium is the little eggs and the babies can go in the nooks and crannies and all that. We also have little female bristle-nosed hiding back there. There's a male bristle-nosed. They've been displaying some breeding behavior. at times. I'm not sure where the male is now, but let's see, maybe he's over here. Sometimes they go down in here. We do have these vases and everything. If you're new to this design or if you're new to this tank, check out some of our other videos. We have under gravel lights that come up through at night. We have some laser lights and all kind of cool stuff that we will go over again in the future when we change it, because we change it periodically. We also have, of course, rope fish in here. If you haven't noticed those guys yet, there's about 6 of those guys in here, quite a few, and they really love this lava rock. They spend a lot of their time down in here, but they also go down into the lava rock, and they will just kind of burrow through the lava rock. They have little tunnels down in there, and they just kind of chill out and go down in there and do their thing. Oh, there's the male right there, right by the female. So they may actually be having a party back in there. We're not sure. Those guys were also at one point in time in Jack's tank, but got so big they started bothering the baby turtles. So we put them out here. So they may be, who knows, doing something behind that lava rock, maybe laying some eggs or something. We'll see what happens there. The other guys we have in here, of course, these electric blue. We got some baby electric blue, super awesome deal. Put them in here. As they grew, this male developed. Really doing awesome. Seems to be getting along with everybody, no problems or anything. There are 2 females. One is right there. She is not holding babies right now. You can see her mouth nice and open, but this young lady over here, you can see is. And these are a member of cichlids that B-R-O-O-D-E-R-S, brooders or broders, and they hold their babies in their mouths. You can see she's doing that. Really cool. So a lot of people would say, well, where are the babies going? Well, the cool part about having babies in a tank like this with all this lava rock as a substrate is the babies, if you could see right here is one. If I can focus in on him. Right there is one. Oops. See, all these other guys are in the way. There he is. When they have babies, the babies go down into, so that's a little baby electric blue. Right there. Maybe about 1 centimeter long at this point. And the cool part is when they have these babies, we'll see them on the sides all through here. And then as they get bigger, they just kind of find little homes and places to hide. And some of them will get bigger and some of them won't. And we just kind of let nature take its course there. There's actually a lot of them in here. It's just that they kind of hide. When we feed them, you'll see quite a few come out, and we're going to be doing a feeding video here, which is really cool. There's about 10 of them actually that come right out here in the bottom. And when they get bigger, we'll probably either put them in Jack's tanks or another tank that we set up, or we may trade them in. We'll see. But it's really kind of neat when you feed, all these little guys will come out. These clown loaches and parrotfish have a very cool relationship. They all get along really good. The clownfish will a lot of times groom the parrotfish. You can see them, they'll get up in their gills, they'll groom them. The ropefish are not usually out too much, but when we feed, they will come out. And you'll see them, they're really cool. Jack calls them dragons. They just kind of come around. But we made these places specifically for them to go down in there. And it's really kind of neat. And, you know, we put these in here separately so that those would light up at night. I'll do a quick shot too with the lights off, just so you can see what those night lights look like. So the next step is really we're gonna just change this to just put some straight glass. As far as fish go, I don't think we're gonna add too much more here yet. Oh, there's this one. You can see she's got her. So got a little tear on the sail there. That happens sometimes, but doing really well. I think for the most part we're gonna leave this tank alone for now, other than adjusting, changing the cave a little bit more, taking away some of that stuff, just stuff that I had there. The reason we use glass for the top is so the light shines through and it's not dark in there. But again, I know the UV isn't going to go through the glass and all that, but again, she gets it when she comes out and she gets it when she comes out of the tank, but it just lights up for her in there, and she does really well in there. I've been messing around with tanks a long time, had a lot of different designs, and we change things around all the time. Anybody in here we forgot about? What about your catfish guy? Oh, there's a couple of ropefish there hanging out.
It's like a golf ball catfish.
Where is he at? It's a Cetodonus.
Or she, I don't know.
Yeah, where is she or he? Sometimes
It looks like it ate a golf ball.
she eats a lot and gets really round. I don't see him or her. I'm not sure if it's male or female.
It's usually over there on the corner.
Yeah, it's hard to find sometimes. Gets sometimes goes back in one of these lava rocks. But anyway, oh, there it is inside there. Yeah, it's really cool. Sometimes if the fish want to be left alone, they'll kind of go in these bowls and chill out, clean in there. Sometimes the clown loaches will go in there. It's kind of cool because it gives the little guys a place to kind of chill out where the big guys can't reach. You got to have little areas like that in your tank and stuff, you know. But anyway, that's the whole thing. Oh, there's the big clown kind of working on the bone there. But that's pretty much everybody that's in here now. We're not sure, you know, like I said, if we're going to do too much adding. I'd really like to possibly get a knife fish, maybe more than one, see how they go. I like to try to change things up around once in a while. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a video of these guys all eating. That's going to come out next week. And we're going to do a video of them eating. And we're going to have Mickey play his flute like he did before on a video. And he's going to play a flute and we're going to watch him eat. And we do change foods up a lot. We got all kind of different foods. Sometimes we just do koi sticks. Sometimes we do cichlid pellets. And sometimes you do turtle food like Reptimin. We throw different stuff in here all the time. These guys aren't picky. They pretty much eat anything. They've been like that ever since really forever. Just change things up. And then we also throw a whole zucchini in here about, I don't know, every couple weeks we just throw a whole zucchini in here, don't we?
Yeah, probably.
A lot of people say, oh, what's that all about, Nat? We just wash it off just like we would for us, right?
Yeah.
And we just toss it in there. And this gal right here, you can see how big she is next to Stygia. She's a good, well over a foot long. She will pretty much eat the whole thing herself and break down the skin and eat the skin, and then and then he will help as well. And then all these other guys, and even Stygia, when it gets to the fleshy part, will eat it. And a lot of times we go on vacation, we'll just throw that in here. And sometimes we'll have somebody stop in for us once or twice and feed for these guys because they're not interested in any of that being cichlids. They will really only eat the pellets. But I've caught them picking on the zucchini sometimes too, and even these electric blues will sometimes do that. But yeah, we'll throw a big zucchini in and have somebody come once or twice while we're gone and throw in some pellets, and then usually the tank is perfectly fine for when we're gone on vacation or something like that. But anyway, that's a good update on everybody. If anybody has any questions, you can ask us, in the comments or anything. For the most part, Stygia loves her tank. She loves her cave. She hangs out in there all the time. She loves it. She's just totally used to it. She goes up in there when she wants, and she comes out when she sees us, and it's really only took her a couple weeks to figure it out. Turtles are very smart. Turtles are very smart.
Yeah, they are.
A lot of people are like, oh, this is kind of weird. She's not going to dry out, or she's not going to get UV. Yeah, she does. She does fine.
She knows what she is.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing, and so do we. We've been doing this a long time. So, and again, you can see by how healthy she is. She's awesome. But no matter what kind of setup you have, if you have turtles or aquatic turtles, they do love swimming and they do love having a lot of room to swim. But at the same time,
there's that catfish in the rock. And then
there's the catfish hanging out with the ropefish in there. Yeah, they're kind of squeezed in that spot together.
There's another one over there.
Sometimes they do, those ropefish look like they're smiling. They're the coolest. You'll see a lot more of them when we feed them. They'll come out, and there's some pretty big ones. It's cool. But anyway, yeah, so that's the deal. That's the deal. But like I was saying before I got sidetracked by the catfish, if you have water turtles, and they of course love swimming, take them out. Let them run around once in a while. Put them out in real sunlight. Let them run around in the grass. Put them in your yard. I mean, you can't do that in the wintertime if you live where we live, but we let them run around the house, and she really enjoys it. Give them some different change of scenery. Don't just leave them. I mean, you can't do that with your fish, but you can definitely do that with reptiles and things like that.
Yeah.
And she enjoys it. She runs around the whole house sometimes. You know, whenever Lacey's not around. If Lacey's around, then there's problems because they don't get along. Lacey doesn't get along with anybody. She's a princess.
We put her in a bucket, not a wagon. We put her in a wagon sometimes while we water the plants. We'll take her around with her so
Right.
she gets sun.
Right, and she likes going for a ride in the wagon, and she'll run around the yard and stuff. But anyway, you got to do that stuff. All right, guys. Well, next week will be a feed video of this tank. We'll probably just throw some pond sticks or something in. Those are fun. And you can see everybody eating, and we'll have Mickey playing music. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye-bye.
That is what it looks like at night. Basically, we just have LEDs on a remote. Well, they're on a timer, so they turn on like, certain times. But we also have a remote override. And those LEDs are just basically stuck to the bottom of the tank, and they shine up through. And they kind of give you that effect. And we can change the colors and make them whatever we want. But a lot of times we leave them blue because this laser light here is blue that goes around the outside. And that gives it a really cool look at night. So it kind of turns on in the morning and it turns on in the night, kind of like a little mood kind of thing when the main lights are off. And like I said, if you haven't seen those videos, check them out. They're pretty cool. I'll put them in the description.